Hi, good day. My name is Sandhya. Today I'm going to talk about English communication. I'm specifically addressing the youth. Youngsters nowadays, when they come into society, they have a big question. How do I communicate in English? And they have several doubts like, will I be able to communicate effectively? What should I speak? And what about my vocabulary? Will I get suitable vocabulary to speak? These are the questions. And so these questions cause a lot of insecurity and lack of confidence. But today I'm talking to you about how to develop your confidence. Well, let me tell you that confidence is a $1,000,000 commodity. It is not available in the market. We need to develop ourselves, and each individual has to work on his or her communication and develop their language and effectively communicate with the other person. Now, I'm sure all of you know what is communication. Communication, take any language, there is communication, and there are 4 skills attached to this language. So when we take, for example, English language, we have speaking skills, reading skills, listening skills, and writing skills. And all of you know that listening and reading are passive skills, means inactive skills. But that's the reason most of us keep these skills aside. But throughout the ages, language experts say that unless and until you read and listen effectively, you will not be able to speak and write effectively. Let's come to writing and speaking skills. These are active skills. One has to master them and spend considerable amount of time to reach to a particular stage where he or she is confident enough to write and confident enough to communicate. So let me tell you some tips about how we can develop our communication, English communication skills. Well, the first thing that I want to tell you is, the language or a sentence when you are thinking. I'm sure all of you are thinking right now. And when you're thinking, you see I'm talking. And when I'm talking, my sentence doesn't come from my mouth. It doesn't come from my throat. Oh, do you think that my brain is in this place or this place? Or, oh no, my brain is in this. So head part of it. So the thinking capacity or thinking ability or thinking starts in your brain. And so first thing, anyone who wants to develop his or her communication skills must start thinking in English. So thinking in English is very, very important. Language experts say that people who want to speak in English, at random, without thinking, are not so effective speakers. But the people who always think in English, several things happen to them. They are very effective in their communication, first thing. Second thing is their vocabulary is effective. And the third thing, which is very important thing, is that their accent comes clear. Accent is the way in which you are, conveying the language, and the other person should be able to understand. So thinking in English is very important for anyone who wants to begin speaking effectively in English and to have successful communication. So first thing is to think in English. And many of us who are speaking in regional languages, like people in Andhra and Telangana speak in Telugu, people in Maharashtra speak in Marathi, and people in other areas like North, they speak in Hindi. So when they speak in Hindi, most of the people, they think in their mother tongue and then speak in English. That will affect the English language that you are speaking. So that's the reason why I encourage all of you to first think in English and then speak. So when you think, what happens is you frame a sentence and then you fit in correct vocabulary. And the next thing is you deliver with correct accent. So these three things are happening when you are thinking in English and speaking. So that's why the first step all of you need to take is to think in English and speak in English. Not think in your mother tongue and speak in English. That is not very effective according to language experts. But if you think in English and speak, that is very effective, even though you are still trying to master your communication skills. You will be successful very soon if you apply this principle of thinking in English. Let me introduce a language expert, Jack C. Richard, and you have his videos on YouTube. You can listen, and even his material is available on net. Why I'm talking to you about what Jack C. Richards is telling is when a person thinks he is a very effective speaker, that is what he says. And the second tip that I want to tell you now is that you should be a good listener. It is not that you want to answer a question and that's why you are listening. No, you should constantly equip yourself and surround yourself with English. So either you keep some, videos which are rolling out and you are constantly listening, or some audio files wherein there is English communication, and always equip yourself. So what are the things from where you can listen? Many people ask me this question, that if because I keep listening to my family and they are talking in the regional language, in the mother tongue, I don't have opportunity to listen to much English and develop my English. That is what most of the youngsters, most of us live in that surroundings. But actually a person who wants to improve his or her communication should do these things. What is it? You take steps, like you have smartphones in your hands, and you have computers, you have television, which is the largest media and most popular media, and nobody can say that I don't have a television and I don't have access. Nowadays we all have access to all these media. So that's why I would encourage you to switch on your television and listen to national English news. So we have several national English news channels, and when you listen to these national English news channels, you will be equipped with correct English sentences, and you will be equipped with vocabulary, and you will be equipped with a lot of questions and then responses. So you all know that. So several journalists, they pose questions, they ask questions, and then several employees, officers, and politicians, they respond, they give answers. So you are being equipped with the right questions and right answers. And the next thing I want to tell you is there are programs about fashion on television. So you will get fashion vocabulary. There are programs about cricket and sports, and you get to listen to a lot of words through these programs. So sports words, you are equipped with sports words, sports vocabulary. And then you also watch several cookery programs, and in this they make or they prepare several recipes, and then you are now exposed to lot of words which probably you are also cooking. And I am sure youth have a craze to cook for themselves nowadays, because the complexity of jobs and the requirement by the society, by the companies, and by educational institutions, universities, has increased to the level where the students at a very young age, they are moving into different towns, different cities, and most of them are also going abroad for their for pursuing their higher studies, and in similar manner, several youth, irrespective of being boys or girls, they are going into other towns and working in different companies. So we see that in a company there are people from various towns, various cities, various states, and they come here and work. So when under this circumstances, the youngsters are learning how to cook, and in that when you read how to prepare this recipe and there are 2-3 difficult words, you will not be able to understand. So what you do is you get discouraged, but don't do that. You listen to some cookery programs, or watch those programs. I'm sure you will be equipped with those words and vocabulary. You'll be exposed to those words and vocabulary. So that is how you acquire words in cookery. And coming to health, health is a very big industry and the most important industry, as you all know. So coming to health programs, when you watch those programs, you are equipped with words. Let us take, for example, a youngster says, I went to meet the doctor. No, you don't meet the doctor, you consult a doctor. Similarly, you also consult a lawyer. You also consult an engineer, a civil engineer, for the construction of your house, or for decorating or construction or renovation of your flat. So that is how the consult word is the most appropriate word in this scenario. So one needs to know what are the medical terms to be used. So even if you are a patient and you are going to the hospital, you just say, I want doctor consultation, I want specialist consultation. Now I'm a patient attendant, okay, and then what does the doctor do? The doctor prescribes, okay, he prescribes tests, he prescribes medicines. You cannot just say, doctor gave me medicines, he wrote some tests. This gave me medicines, wrote some tests are very normal words which usually school students, middle school students use. But now you have grown to be a young man and a young lady. So I want you to acquire these words. So what you should be doing, you should be watching some programs. So there are several programs lined up on all the channels in English about health. So if you watch such programs at least a couple of times, 1 or 2 times in a week, I'm sure you will be getting chunk of words which are very important, medical words. So that is about how you can develop by watching the media. So when you are listening, you are not only watching but you are also listening. So the second point that I conveyed to you is about listening. So the more you listen, the better you speak. Now the second important point the language experts say is that the people who want to develop good communication skills in English should be good listeners. You should be good listeners. It's very important. So let us come to the first point, be good thinkers or think in English. Second is listening. Do a lot of listening. And I encourage you to not to look at the screen and also only concentrate on listening skills. So now most of us are not using radios, but there are several programs on radios, and I think some of them do a lot of listening over the radio. And we have good radio jockeys who are good English speakers too. So I encourage you to listen to such programs where there are some discussions, on radios. There are several celebrities who are interviewed, and those celebrities are related to acting, entertainment, they are related to education, they are related to sports, they are related to politics. So when you listen to such interviews on radio, you will acquire a lot of vocabulary and you develop your listening skills. So here when you are listening, I want you to concentrate and see that your vision is minimally used. There is minimal use of vision and maximum use of your listening ability. So I'll just give you an example. Suppose, you are just watching television, and then you're only listening to what is going on the television. And then, your name is Ravi, and somebody says from the other room, Ravi, and blah, blah, blah. Immediately, your, listening stops from here, and your focus of listening goes to that. What is somebody talking about, Ravi? So, how you switch your focus the same way, that is what is called as active listening, where you close this, ears to this program that is going on, and then you switch your listening to the distant voice. Somebody XYZ is talking about Ravi and so on and so on and so on. So that is active listening. So we have several kinds of listening. There is active listening, there is inactive listening, and then we need to develop listening skills. And in the education nowadays, the listening has come to minimal use. In olden days, people used to listen to lot of lectures, and people used to do lot of active listening. So that is the reason why all the information was properly recorded in their mind, and they were able to produce that wherever, whenever necessary. But that is not what is happening nowadays. So I encourage all of you to do some listening exercises, and close your eyes and listen to some you can listen to English songs, pop songs, old songs, not the new songs, because old pop songs had full sentences and meaningful stanzas, and you all of us enjoy, and by that we learn the proper construction of sentences, and we also learn good vocabulary, or how we can express things in day-to-day life. So I encourage you to listen. So the first thing that we discussed today is about thinking in English. The second thing is to listen, be a good listener. So youngsters, we were talking about listening. Let me again tell you another tip about listening. Whenever you are listening to some lectures, and your teachers, your lecturers, your professors teaching you a subject, a topic, I want all of you to do some active listening. So you just listen inactively in the classroom, thinking that yes, it is the duty of the teacher to speak, or the professor is giving some lecture. Yeah, that is true. He is giving his lecture, they are doing their job. But the point here is, if you listen, you will catch hold of some vocabulary which is related to your subject and the sentence patterns, and that will help you, assist you to reproduce. So we think that computers are great machines, but you should know that your brain is the greatest machine, and our brains are the brains which created the computer, which is a beautiful and a very sophisticated machine. So I want you to utilize this brain, which is like a supercomputer, and it keeps adding all the data. Well, I know that our computers have stored say 15 years data, 20 years data, but do you know, if a man is 80 years old, or a man or woman is 90 years old, they have 90 years data recorded in their brain. So that is a fact that we all should know, understand, and try to record through your effective and intent listening. I want you to record all these sentences, the words which the teachers are doing. So what are you doing? You are just sitting, but then see that your ears are completely open, and then you continue to listen effectively and record those sentences and those words, so that it will be easy for you when you are going through your answers and then write the answers in the exam. So that's why listening is very, very important. The next tip that I want to tell you the third one. So let us come from the first one. The first one is think in English. The second one is listen. Listen to English news, English programs, people who are talking in English, your lecturers, teachers or professors who are teaching, and your family members or anyone who is speaking in English, listen to them. And the third one that I want to tell you now is reading. Reading is passive skill, no doubt, but a person who reads, always becomes confident in developing correct sentences and also good vocabulary. So these are the two things that youngsters come up with. They say, oh, I don't know how to frame sentence, or they say, I don't have enough words in my mouth or in my mind to speak. So that is why I am asking you to follow this tip of reading. Reading is very, very important. And specifically, reading is not just, silent. I want you to read loudly, doing loud reading. So that's why I am sure to do several things, like you have a Zoom meet or some meeting, on your through your mobile or through computer. So I want you to shut yourself and do loud reading. Okay, if you think that you are disturbing your family members or people around you, I want you to go to a silent place and read aloud. Now, what is that we should read, madam? That is your question. Now, what is that you want to read? Okay, I am not limiting your reading to read anything that comes to your hand or anything that is lying around. No, not like that. First of all, you want to develop English communication, so you must read English. That we all know, yes? Simple logic. The second thing is that I want you to pick the things that you are interested in. So, a young boy or a young girl is very much interested in cricket. So what do? They start, looking at the sports page, and then their favorite cricketers playing, where did they play, how many runs they scored, and what is his, what is the standing in the cricket fraternity, and things like that. They try to understand and read. So first they read about their heroes or about their heroines, right? Be it anybody. They can be educationalists, they can be cricketers, they can be actors, they can be politicians, they can be, social leaders. So all of them, you read about them. So please read about something that you are crazy about, something that you love reading, something that you like the most. Please do that kind of reading and read loudly. So when you read loudly, what happens is we are habituated from childhood to speak in our mother tongue. So when we are speaking in English, the language changes. So when this language changes, then it will be difficult for our mouth, to pronounce those words easily. We cannot do that. So that is the reason why you should do loud reading, and by doing that, your mouth becomes comfortable speaking the language. So that is how I encourage all of you to do some loud reading of articles, several articles. Read the newspaper headlines, read the newspaper articles, good articles, the articles which, give you positivity in your thinking, positivity in your language, and positivity in your personality. So that is what the kind of reading that I want you to do. There are several articles. You open your mobile phone, smartphone, there are several articles and you can just read through. So that is about reading. So that's about reading articles, newspaper articles, headlines, and several other things. All right. Now coming to the fourth tip. So again, let us come from the beginning. First thing is think in English. Second tip is listen to English. English conversation, English programs, or English music, or the wordings, the songs or whatever. The next thing is reading, loud reading, please. And the last tip I want to give you, the fourth tip, is speak. Speak English words. So maybe your mother is not comfortable in communicating with you in English, but she will definitely listen to few words. Thank you, hello, good evening, all this. Come here, mummy, give me a glass of water. Mummy, a glass of water please. Mummy, a glass of water please. So this kind of short sentences. So I encourage you today to use short words or good words in English. Start using them. Then what happens is, to those words you add several other words and you can make them into phrases. Okay, just now I gave you example, a glass of water please. So that way, but I encourage you to again frame full sentences and meaningful sentences. So once you are comfortable using speaking English words, then you will become comfortable using English phrases. And once you are comfortable using English phrases, I am sure you will continue with short sentences and then continue with short sentences attaching those sentences. Maybe you will start conversing with your family members, with your friends in English. That will give you confidence to come out into the society and speak to anybody confidently in English. So I encourage you. Now, what is a phrase? You said phrase is, some of you might have a question in your mind. The phrase is, 2 to 3 words together. So we have an example, as soon as possible. There are as soon as possible, 4 words. So 4 words together becomes a phrase. So that way you, in a house scenario among your friends, you can start using phrases and then frame them into proper grammatically correct sentences and then start communicating in English. So youngsters, I encourage you to follow these tips of thinking in English, listening to English conversations, and reading headlines or meaningful sentences or something that you like, and finally speaking to your nearby people who are nearby, people who are surrounding you in English, so that you shun that shyness, timidity, and become confident. Thank you.